Hey guys, so I don't know if this is the video I found. I'm pretty sure this is like from 2 years ago. Um, but he is eating what he was eating in that video that I was looking for in this video here. So I'll go with it. Here we go.
Hello, hope you're well. My name is Frank and welcome back to my channel. It is a pleasure to have you here with me today for this day of eating. And I'm going to show you guys what I've been doing for the past week or so. And
Really high on those carbs, huh?
over these few months, I haven't been carnivore anymore. My diet has been consistently lean meat and grains, predominantly some vegetables.
This diet that he's eating now, by the way, it's proof that he wanted carbs so badly that he's willing to justify his addiction and say, oh, liver damage, and I need these. Nutritional genius, my butt. For a time, he was calling himself the nutritional genius. You're anything but, Flanky. The real nutritional geniuses are the people that still live hunter-gatherer lifestyles. You don't see animals once they're you don't see dogs in the wild eating friggin' wheat and nuts and maybe a little bit of meat here and there. No. When you take your dog out to go pee and the dog sees a deer in the yard, what is his instinct? To bark at it and run after it. Run at it and try to... It does that for a reason, Flanky. You crave meat for a reason. What happened to your... the hunter-gatherer research? We are still those people. The only difference now is we're not treating ourselves like one. We should be eating the way that the hunter-gatherers were eating. You're eating the agricultural diet, which you should not be. No human can be truly healthy eating the agricultural diet. You should be eating the diet of the hunter-gatherers, which is mostly meat. And yes, farming meat, it's different, but my point is hunter-gatherers eat mostly meat. They will sometimes eat a little bit of vegetation, maybe a little tubers if they can find it, or if they're absolutely starving, but mostly meat and a little bit of vegetation.
Spices, herbs mixed in here and there for flavor, some fruit when I get sweet craving, and I've certainly been having some type...
Oh, fruit. Yeah, not like those cookies are also a sweet craving helper or whatever. You'll understand in a second, guys, for those who haven't seen this.
Type of like higher quality homemade cookies or baked goods every day for just a more dense caloric source.
Woo! Because fruit isn't enough, is it? Woo! Carbs!
Some of you guys saw the beef and barley stew recipe that I made last Saturday. I've been doing a variation on that. And in addition, I just have a couple of other things I'd like to show you guys. So I guess the main thing first to touch on is what I've been drinking in addition to spring water. So this is water kefir.
Apparently he said it's not supposed to be sweet. I've had kombucha from the store once. Disgusting. It literally tastes like pickle juice.
And if you don't tolerate dairy kefir, this is okay.
Like, you're supposed to taste the tea and stuff as well. And the fact you can't, it literally just tastes like pickle juice. It's not supposed to taste like that. You're supposed to taste the tea. You're supposed to have some flavor. This stuff had ginger in it too. I couldn't even taste the ginger in it.
It consumes sugar, whereas other kefir strains tend to consume protein, fat, lactose, all different types of macronutrient sources. This is really good for just keeping your gut in check, especially when you're consuming carbohydrates.
You don't want sugar. Not like that, Frankie. You don't need external sources of sugar. You don't need them at all. There's a reason. Like, if we did, we would die within hours. Because sugar doesn't last long. We would die within hours, if not like a day or two.
I actually bought this from a local farm, but that is way too expensive. And I have some water kefir grains here that I'm going to make some of my own flavored water kefir, and I'll show you guys how to do that once I figure out a solid recipe. But the main source of calories and nutrition for today is going to be that beef and barley stew. I'm using venison and a couple of different ingredients here today. I'm also going to try using the Instant Pot. I just got this last week. I made some rice in it last night. It's just real.
I'm pretty sure you would. I don't know. You can't live primarily on sugar. You don't have the digestive system to handle all that sugar. You don't. Come on, look it up. Look up what a hindgut fermenter is. Look up what the cecum is, and look up the appendix. They're actually the same thing. The difference is, in humans, it's the appendix. Guess what happens in there? It's purely a replenishment. I learned that the appendix is an organ that, like, say you get food poisoning or something, the appendix is supposed to replenish your gut bacteria. Based on a copy of the bacteria you've had. It's supposed to, like, help with that. The cecum we don't have.
Really easy, real convenient. Normally I have to saute and caramelize all these vegetables in a pan, saute and caramelize the meat. I think if I just throw it in here, put it on pressure, it might taste pretty good. Of course, Frankie Boy is still gunning for his Whole Foods sponsorship, which is likely never going to happen, not that I want one. And we do have...
Not that I want money, even though I clearly do, because the money is actually the most important. That's why I'm eating this way. I'm eating this way to show you guys that I want money. And and plus, I love carbs. So, both to both worlds.
The cookie batter, the vegan cookies that we made.
Why are they vegan? Why? Why vegan cookies? It's not like you're malnourished enough. No, let's eat vegan cookies too.
The other day that are in the oven right now. But for now, let's just show you guys the ingredients that are going into this and what I'm having today. I do have a video making kefir, talking about kefir, so definitely check that out if you're a little curious about it. Just real quick and easy, I'm going to put some coconut oil in here, maybe 4 tablespoons. I do have a video on that as well if you want to check it out. But onto our main ingredients. Of course, we have the meat. I'm using venison. I have some of the leg steaks we have on Frankie's Free Range Meat chopped up with 1 rack of venison. The bones might add some nice flavor to this. I don't know, I figured I'd throw them in there. Just got a couple pounds of venison. And this is going to last me, I would say, 3 to 4 days worth of meals.
No, the video I remember was roast beef. But it's the same. It's the same.
So that's how much meat I'm using. That's how much vegetable.
Like, it's the same in that it's pretty much got the same stuff.
How much grain, how much food I'm using. This is our flavoring component. Just some organic onions, organic shiitake mushrooms, organic garlic. Very simple. I do pick the garlic out because it kind of gives me headaches when I eat it. And I normally do caramelize these vegetables, but we'll see how they turn out without being caramelized. Our seasoning is going to be just some bay leaves, thyme, salt, and pepper. Very simple, very basic flavorings I found to like. You could also do things like rosemary, sage, parsley if you'd like to.
Herbs and carbs, because carbs are really the most exciting part for him at the end of the day.
Grain is
because it gets immediate energy, even though it doesn't last. It doesn't last, Frankie. And headaches, by the way, those headaches you were mentioning in some of your videos there, buddy, they're sugar highs. That's what they are.
Barley. I had to buy these bags.
They're from sugar highs.
Because I went to a different Whole Foods and the bulk bin was out. But I'm going to do about 2 cups of barley in here. And this is
carbs.
The starch source, a big caloric source.
Woo!
And barley even has some B vitamins. You could do brown rice, you could do wheat grains, you could do a whole different bunch of grains in this, whatever you like.
Carbs.
Even just pour this over pasta separately after. So I have 3 quarts of beef broth.
Sorry guys, but just the sound, that reminds me, like back when my mom used to make like those like spaghetti and things like that. Like, I'll still eat spaghetti, but I won't eat actual spaghetti. I'll eat like spaghetti squash because it actually tastes a lot better. Like the way it's prepared and everything. I don't eat it often, but I like it actually a lot better because I find that when you make it with the pasta, there's a chance you can still when you undercook the pasta, it's hard. Whereas if you undercook the squash a little bit, it's gonna be more crunchy.
That we're gonna put in here. As always, everything's organic, and as with pretty much
beer. I realized it's an alcohol addiction too. That's part of it. He drinks the kefir for alcohol addiction. He takes the supplements for pill addiction, and he eats the carbs for carb addiction. Yep. There we go.
Much any health topic, I do have a video on organic as well. Why you want to go organic. And this is actually looking like it's going to the top of the max liquid. So instead of putting in another quart of the broth, here I have some naturally fermented apple cider of a company I found, a Redbird Orchard cider. I probably shouldn't be talking about this because I'm not sponsored by them and it's going to sell out.
Doesn't mean you shouldn't talk about it. YouTubers talk about things that they like all the time.
But I found that they had a natural apple wine, basically. And I bought some of this. I haven't
Wine. There you go.
really been using it. So we'll put maybe 2 cups of wine in here. And then I'm going to fill it to the top of the fill line with the rest of the broth. Now hopefully this works because this is quite a bit of money worth of ingredients. Probably at least $30, $40 for a couple days worth of food.
Holy crap. If you just cut out the middleman, which was carbs, you wouldn't be spending quite that much. You're making this too complicated. It should not be this complicated. Oh, but my liver. Your liver is not damaged that badly, Frank. It's not that bad. It isn't. You had problems because you were doing the carnivore diet wrong. You weren't taking enough electrolytes, weren't eating enough fat. You were eating a lot leaner meat. I think you were eating not enough fat for you. Come on.
Meat stew, high pressure, more, 45 minutes. I think that's all we do. Yep. So we'll let this go. 45 minutes. So this
That almost sounds like the little induction cooktop that I have. I find it's easier for me to cook on because I don't know if you've ever heard of these, but for those who haven't, the induction cooktops, I like them because for someone like me who, has a visual impairment, I like won't have to clean under burners and all that stuff. And if the food falls onto it, it'll fall onto a spot that is actually not hot. There's like a section where the burner is. And then when you lift the pan up off the burner, it's off the burner because it'll start to beep at you. I really, really like this. There's no mess. There's no difficult messes anyway. It's not smelly. It's just, wonderful.
This went for about 45 minutes on the pressure cooker, and then while I was upstairs working, it went for another 45 minutes keeping warm. I let the steam out. It took actually like 3 or 4 minutes just to let the steam pressure out, so let's open this up and see what it looks like. It smells really delicious, and the whole kitchen smells really good, even before I open this. The barley looks really well cooked. We can take these...
Carbs!
These bones are probably really hot. Take the meat off the bones, take the bones out. So I'm going to take out a couple ladles of the...
Yeah, get rid of all that collagen. That actually can help with the gut problems. Flanky. Collagen, but no, you're blaming just toxins alone. There's plant toxins too. Remember that. Remember that while you sit there eating your stomach-ripping gluten.
Soup for what I think I'll eat in one meal so it can cool off. So let this cool off for an hour or so. I'm in no rush to eat. What I will say is this tastes much, much better the next day. Like literally twice as good the next
Barley has gluten too, guys.
day. So what I suggest is,
For those who don't know.
what I've been doing, that is preparing this a day or two in advance and then consuming it over the course of several days. So it's really just an hour of work max, and I have all of my meals for 3 or 4 days. And I think I'm going to be doing this moving forward because I'm used to cooking rice, cooking protein every meal. So that's a lot of work compared to just having this nice stew. And this really does taste delicious if you add the proper ingredients to it. And one more thing to consider is this will suck up a lot of the liquid. So although this kind of looks like a soup right now, there's going to be very little liquid left in this the next day, the day after. In about an hour or so, we'll have our meal of cookies, stew.
Cookies! Sorry. It's so hilarious. It's so hilarious to me. Carbs!
Some water kefir, and I'm going to take some digestive enzymes with the meal to help break it all down. In regards to this Instant Pot, I'm just going to let this sit like this for the next few days, as I would normally have a pot on the stovetop just resting. All right, really simple, guys. I got my bowl of stew. I usually have 2 or 3 bowls per meal. That's what satiates me. After the first or second bowl, I'll...
Oh, I wonder why you have 2 or 3 bowls, Frankie. It couldn't possibly be the fact that you don't have enough meat in replacement of the carbs. Good for that.
I'll get up, I'll take my enzymes with some of the kefir.
Enzymes, because you're definitely not damaging your intestines enough with the friggin' pills that you're taking and all those carbs and the gluten and all that crap. No. So you have to take enzymes, of course.
And then I'll finish up.
Because not like they don't help, not like your body doesn't produce them or anything. Wait, what? It does? Oh. What?
Another bowl or two of stew, and then I'll have my cookies while drinking the kefir.
Cookies! Carbs!
Usually, the stew keeps me hydrated because the liquid volume's high, but when I eat the cookies, I get thirsty, so I drink the water kefir.
Of course you do. Of course you do. Frankie boy. Of course you do. Because cookies are kid food, number one. And cookies are carbs. And they're probably full of salt and all kinds of other stuff. And they're vegan. Like, duh. There's no fat. There's no egg. There's no nothing. They gotta be salty. Ugh. And what is water kefir gonna do to quench thirst? What? The worst combination is chocolate with salt. Holy crap. When I make a cocoa, sometimes I'll put like salt in with it. Oh, bad idea, bad idea. It makes me thirsty, so dang thirsty. Don't do that.
Now, the moment of truth is how good does this taste? And obviously, as I said earlier, it'll taste better in a day or two, but it's definitely better than day one in the pot. So this actually is pretty good. Now, the amount of meat in this is, much less than I'm used to on a carnivore diet, but I do feel a lot better, and it's definitely still enough protein to
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. All of this was just self-inflicted, Frankie.
maintain my muscle mass. So that's the first bowl. Let me grab some more soup. Now, even though it seems like there's a set amount of protein in this, what you end up doing based on your cravings is you'll start picking out some meat, you'll start picking out some barley, and if you make this with too much or too little of either ingredient, while you're eating it, you'll realize that. From the nutrient profile, we have a ton of B vitamins in the venison and the broth, all of those animal-based minerals, and then with the barley, the mushrooms, the onion.
I'm not against venison, but you need butter. I hear it's very, very lean, so you need butter. Come on, Frankie.
All of the other things we added. We have
If you're gonna eat venison, add some butter.
some plant-based minerals, but mostly with that carbohydrate, with that starch.
Carbs!
We're feeding our gut bacteria. We have the fiber for the gut motility. We're giving our body energy. This is really great to keep you warm. So that's the second bowl.
If I'm too juvenile for you guys, I'm sorry, but I have to. I'm sorry.
So let's go have the vitamins. So we got our third bowl of stew. I have some apple water,
It's who I am.
kefir, and I have about 15 enzyme
Let me live.
pills. So this is a mix of several different enzyme supplements. I think I did a video on my Patreon. You could also watch my video on enzymes to understand what you would be taking in the context of this meal. And
You wouldn't need enzymes if you just ate your proper hunter-gatherer style diet. So mostly meat, lots of meat, lots of fatty meat in particular. A little bit of vegetation. You don't have to eat the same way a hunter-gatherer does, like going out hunting, and you don't have to do that. A hunter-gatherer diet is mostly meats, preferably fatty meats, and a little bit of vegetation. That is all a hunter-gatherer diet is. Maybe a little fruit if in season. That is the hunter-gatherer diet. Okay? Not this diet, Frankie. Not the agricultural diet. And I say agricultural diet because you eat grains every gosh dang day. Agricultural diet, there's a difference.
enzymes are based off of the macronutrient profile. So you want starch digesting enzymes here, you want protein digesting enzymes, and the fat usually aren't that necessary, but you definitely have to have the variety of the different protein components.
You need fat in every meal. You need fat in every meal. Buddy, there's such thing as excuse me. Shoot, I forgot the word. Official, or wait. It'll come to me.
And make sure that if the meal is kind of high in sugars,
Essential fatty acids. There's something called essential fatty acids, Frankie. Essential. Oh, thank you, by the way, for being the example of how not to do the carnivore diet. Because the fat in my brain might help my neurons like fire back and tell me what the word was. So thank you.
Which it will be, because we're gonna have some cookies that you have some
Cookies! Carbs!
probiotic bacteria like this kefir to consume that sugar so that you don't have any dysbiosis issues.
Oh my lord.
Or you just take all the pills in a handful.
Pills! This is pure drug addiction, you guys. Pure. Oh my lord.
Now this stuff, the way this farm made it, tastes really good. I'll have to mess around with the recipe myself, but it basically tastes like a slightly alcoholic fizzy soda, but
Proof. More proof. He's an alcoholic too, you guys. I knew it.
there's no real sweetness to it because the kefir grains eat up all the sugar. To finish up the stew, when you don't caramelize those vegetables, a lot more barley flavor comes out. Now,
Barley carbs.
interestingly, I don't really like the barley or the venison that much on their own.
I wonder why you don't like the barley so much, huh, Flanky? I wonder. Oh, I wonder.
But in this stew, it's really delicious. I'm not really that hungry, but I made these cookies, so we'll have some.
Cookies. I want a cookie too, Daddy.
They smell really good. Nice and crispy this time.
The sound of carbs. I sound like an angry bull. I'm sorry.
Really crispy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, break those teeth.
I left these in the oven a bit too long. So this is really just concentrated calories, very dense sugar,
Nice acrylamide coating on there. Yummy.
starch, fat, whereas that stew is pretty voluminous and not nearly as refined and concentrated as the cookie.
And that's the beauty of vegan cookies. They're extra full of acrylamide.
I mean, the basic thing about fermentations is you have to make sure the bacteria culture is active. Otherwise, if you kind of drink it, you're basically just consuming dead bacteria, which is not going to have nearly the same effect as probiotics normally do. So that's pretty much my meal for today, guys. I'm probably going to have one more cookie and I'll drink this water.
Cookies! Carbs! Oh my goodness. He loves his carbs so much. I'm like exaggerating how excited he's getting. He's loving this, you guys. I can tell. Like, he loves all these cookies and carbs. He's so excited.
Turkey for when I go upstairs, and I might have another container of this later. I don't know. But today I'm definitely not having 2 meals. Most days I will have 2 meals like this. Usually the second meal is just not as large. I'll still have the stew, the cookies, the water kefir, and I'll actually have the enzymes
Cookies, carbs.
before that meal as opposed to during that meal. You guys can check out that venison on Frankie's Free Range Meat if you like, and hopefully sometime in the near future I can get you guys all quality foods, including water kefir and stuff like this. So thanks again for joining me, guys, and I'll see you for tomorrow's video.
I'd be so interested to try venison. I've never tried it before. I've had moose once, and we thought it was roast beef when we had it. We didn't realize it was moose. Well, my mom did. I don't think anyone else did. This was when I was a kid. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I never had moose since then. I can't remember the taste. And, like, just regular, like, when I think of venison, I just think of regular, like, you know, the typical white-tailed deer type kind of meat. But we have moose here in Canada. We have deer, but not where I live. Yeah. I don't know if I think we might have moose here on the island, although I could be wrong. But yeah, so that's that video. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna upload the other one I made first. So you're gonna see 2 videos from me today. And I will schedule them. Yeah. So this video should probably come out maybe around 10 o'clock this morning. So that is Atlantic Standard Time. We have daylight savings time here. So 10 o'clock. Yeah. 10 o'clock Atlantic Standard Time. And yeah, so that will be 9 o'clock Eastern if you're on daylight savings, 8 o'clock Central, this is all like assuming you all have daylight savings, right? So yeah, I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one.